Okay, Muhammad Ali. Someone asked me about Ali, you know, what's my take on Ali and his style. I don't want to talk about his style specifically because lots of people have done it and done it better than I can do it. For me, the important thing about Ali is this. He breaks the rules, but he also breaks the adage. The adage being, and this is bigger than boxing, learn the rule book, and then if you want to go your own way, go your own way. But first of all, learn to do it right, then learn to do it wrong. That's not true. And it's not true for many of the greats in various fields throughout time and history. You can go in with your own rule book, and as long as it works, you can plot your path that way from the beginning. You don't, if anything, learning the rule book is a way of quashing whatever was different or unusual about your particular take and perspective, because you then become part of the canon, part of the agreed form, and you lose, you shed, you throw away the things about you which were different, and sometimes that's bad, that's a bad thing, as long as it works. And I've talked about this before. There are things instinctually that people do, like shifting, like stance shifting, as novices, that are really valuable. But teaching people to throw that away and then reteaching them later down the line isn't necessarily advantageous, in my opinion. So Ali, he's all about this lean back. He's all about not getting hit. Don't like getting hit. And he's long and ranging fast, so why should he? Because he's got all that range and that speed. Got all that elasticity. He likes to shoot that elastic, that kind of coil back elasticity that the body has. Everything's fast. And he's long and he's fast and he's got that range. But he's all about not getting hit. So he's pivoting off that front foot, circling all the time. So he doesn't have to enter that space where he's trading, And why should he? If he's got good tie-up skills, you get into that range where you're up close and you're pressurizing him, particularly to the body. He's going to tie you up. But Ali, the lean back, that kind of Ali leaning away from the punch, is what most people talk about. And he's crossing his legs as he goes backwards and stuff. His kind of dynamic balance as he's leaning back. It's all non-standard, frowned upon. It's breaking the rules. But it's also very instinctual, and for me, if you want to understand Ali, you go back to a kid starting boxing for the first time. He's using the lean back because everyone does in a street fight who's untrained. They lean back, they try and lean back away from punches and fight from here. And you know what? The lean back part works, it does work. It's hard to hit someone who leans back like this, in the head anyway. You can hit them in the body, but people don't use the body in the street so much anyway. But yeah, leaning back with your head, it's actually difficult to hit people this way. And this is the basis for some more traditional techniques, like the shoulder roll, or, like that Dempsey lean back, or you lean back over here, you're coming in. It's about creating that distance between, you and their head, and it's a distance you can't cross. Because if you cross into that space, to the extent that you need to get to that head, you're walking into the counter. So Ali takes that novice lean back, and I'm going back in my mind here to when he starts. He takes that novice lean back, and he just runs with it, and he learns to develop a style which he's suited to because of his range and his speed. He learns to develop a style off the back of that novice lean back. And he just grows that style from there, and that's Ali for me. He takes what was instinctual to a kid, a long skinny kid starting boxing, and he learns to make that work, and he builds upon it. And because he's doing something quite different to the norm, it makes it very difficult for conventional people to understand and interpret that. And also because of his mindset and his commitment to excellence, and the fact that he mastered his weaknesses You know, there are weaknesses to that style, but he masters them. He works on his weak areas so that they're not weaknesses anymore, so that he can still be strong where he's weak. But the key to Ali is, and the key learning, because if you're not Ali, if you're not shaped like him, if you don't have that mindset, then what he does is not particularly relevant to you. But the key learning is about embracing your personal perspectives and learning how to make your instincts work for you. And you know, you have to be honest. If things you try don't work and you can't make them work, then throw them away, try something else. But if you can make them work, embrace your differences, because these are shortcuts. They're going to take you in places that other people can't follow. So that's the key learning from Ali for me. Embracing instinct, embracing what is different about you, and finding ways to make that work.